what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people.
We, the people
of this great nation.
of this great nation.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow Americans. I am frustrated. I am more than frustrated. Let me tell you, I'm angry. I can't express the sadness that I have inside of me, how drained I feel inside of me, because I know this election is being stolen. I know it because I feel it. I know it because I've been following Trump since 2016. I've been seeing his crowds since 2016, and we're seeing it everywhere. All over the United States, we're seeing the fraud happening right before our eyes. They stopped the counts midnight, and suddenly we wake up the next morning, Joe Biden has hundreds of thousands of votes. Now we find out in Michigan that apparently there was a glitch in a computer, but the glitch couldn't be for Trump. The glitch was against Trump. 6,000 votes literally casted for Joe Biden. Then we have Philadelphia, the most corrupt city on this planet. I did some digging in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia has been known to be a city of people getting indicted for election meddling and election fraud. Even a judge was arrested for being bribed, for accepting bribes. This is a corrupt city. If you notice, there's a fucking pattern here. I hate to be using foul language, but I'm going to use it today because I am pissed. I'm sincerely pissed. They're trying. We have right now the best president in this country. Unfortunately, the left is too stupid to see how much they have in common with this president. These people that fight Antifa, that want less government control, they don't realize how much they have more in common with our president than what they think. But they're dumb. They're brainwashed. The media is brainwashing them. They're being brainwashed by Twitter. We're being censored in every platform that you can think of. I'm censored every time I tweet something. They censor the president of the United States of America, a platform that's based on freedom of speech, that they technically sponsor, that it's a place where you can freely speak your mind as long as you're not insulting anybody or in any which way saying racial remarks. Or those terms of services. But they censor him just for saying there's election fraud happening. And we can see it. We're not stupid. Listen, I designed an electoral map of what I thought was going to happen. I even thought Trump was going to flip Minnesota. Nevada for me was a toss-up. Although George Bush did win it back when he ran for president both times. This is why this is killing me inside. First, Fox News goes and announces that ahead of time, which I find it ridiculous, that they announced that Joe Biden has Arizona with close to 700,000 ballots that weren't counted yet. Still hasn't been counted. And the elections were on Tuesday and we're by Friday. And they go ahead and they give it, but they haven't called Alaska yet. How long does it take to process 500 people? I'm being I'm underplaying it. It's obviously not 500 people, but I'm just saying, how small is it? We're finding out day in, day out. They're not letting poll watchers check out watch the whole system play. In Michigan, they board up windows so you can't see them work. They're stealing our election. That is what they're doing. It's as simple as that. This is not a conspiracy theory. I don't believe in that BS. I try to avoid those things, but my gut and what I'm seeing tells me otherwise. It tells me they're stealing the election, and that is what I strongly believe in my heart. Every state where everything comes down to the wire happens to be a state where you see that it's a democratically ran city that's controlling the final votes. Detroit, Wayne County, Atlanta, Philadelphia. Must I say any more? It's ridiculous to think, listen, that Joe Biden would actually surpass Obama in votes. A man that spent the majority of the time during the election inside his house? Do you honestly think there's that many Trump haters? Let's begin by saying that they obviously rigged it. They knew this chaos. This was the best strategy that the Democrats have ever come up with. Basically send out a bunch of ballots so that way they can be falsified, and that way people can put in whatever they want, and people who don't normally vote will vote. Because the hardest thing Democrats have is getting people to the voting polls. Everybody knows this. It's always been their biggest issue. That's why they're always vote. Go out there and vote. But you want me to tell you something? If you actually think Joe Biden won this election,
are you stupid?
He did not win this election. There is no way on earth. I have been looking. Michigan, we found out 6,000 votes in one county glitched. But we also found out that that same system that they're using is used in 47 other counties. This is how you rob an election. Little votes here, little votes there. They all tally up just enough to get him right to the finish line. Do you think Joe Biden was more important than Obama? The first black president to run for president? Do you think that he was honestly going to get more votes, more popular votes than Obama? I mean, seriously, do you really think that?
Come on, man.
I mean, I don't. And I am frustrated and I am ready. Boy, am I ready. I am ready because I am not going to let them steal this election. At least as an American, I will not. I will protest the hell out of this. I will give it all I've got. I will continue to get on this podcast and inform people. We cannot let them steal this election from Donald Trump. We cannot let them steal this election from the American people. We overwhelmingly voted in person. We took our time to request absentee ballots. We took our time and waited in line for them to come in here and tell us our vote doesn't matter. We decide what happens. We decide who wins the election. You do not decide because we do not like you. You are not like us. You do not think like us. You are not one of us. And that is what's happening. And we cannot allow this to happen. As Americans, we cannot allow them to steal this election. If you know of any fraud going on, if you know of anything, let local law enforcement know. Fuck it, even send it to their tip line. I don't have it here, but they have a tip line. On Donald Trump's website, they have a tip line where you can let them know of possible fraud. Spread the word. I personally know somebody that literally voted in Ohio but lives in Florida, and he did not vote in Ohio. He told me he voted here, and apparently somebody voted in Ohio for him. But since Ohio is much more organized, when was the last time we saw somebody running for presidential candidate win the White House without Florida and Ohio? Or with one or the other? It doesn't happen. There's something weird here. Florida didn't let it happen because we're used to handling absentee ballots. And we weren't going to let it happen. Ohio, the same way. It's not a coincidence. It's happening in all these cities. That's why Trump feels so confident if they do a recount, they're going to realize all the mistakes and all the damaged ballots and all the invalid ballots, and it's going to destroy the lead that supposedly Joe Biden has. There is no way all these people voted for Biden. And everybody feels it. Even the left is shocked at this. They're pretending like they expected it, but they didn't. We were brainwashed by the poll watchers saying Trump was losing Iowa. He won Iowa by 7 points. They had him losing by 7 points. Or even more. I think they had him losing by 15 points. The system is rigged, and it's rigged against America. This is a president that today, the unemployment rate dropped to 6.1%. Do you think things are going to get better? Do you think, something that has me very upset as well, the other Republicans don't seem to have his back. The senators, all these people that he pushed and lifted and got them to where they're at today, they don't have his back. It seems like he's fighting for America, but he's fighting by himself and with his team of people, but he doesn't have our senators helping. They don't care. They want him out too. We know this. They've been wanting him out because he's not like them. They want their control. They want to continue to go back to their old life of controlling everything and dictating how the money's spent, how taxpayers' monies are spent, what decisions are good for this country without asking the people of this country. And Donald Trump puts America first. Donald Trump loses this election and they steal this election from him. We are losing the best president that we've ever had in this country. A man that believes America comes first. The America First policy. That is what Donald Trump's been running on. That is why he has so many supporters. It has nothing to do with
Racist.
It has nothing to do with that. Although people depict us as that, but guess what? I'm a minority. So I'm not a racist. I actually have family members that are dark-skinned. I don't have a racist bone in my body. But apparently I'm categorized like that. And then the Hispanics that voted for Trump in Miami, the Cubans, oh, they're dumb. They don't know what they're voting for. Yeah, we're going to vote for a vice president who at the time, Obama went and visited Raul Castro, sat with a dictator and watched a baseball game, and he was laughing and having a great time watching a baseball game while Belgium was getting bombed by terrorists, and he disrespected and slapped all the Cubans. Did you think you were going to get our vote? No, Obama, fuck you. Don't come to Miami. We don't care about you in Miami. I'm mad. As you can tell, I'm mad. I normally try to keep my composure. I normally try not to sound angry. I normally try to think open-minded. But I'm sorry, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. And you know what? This election feels rigged. I felt it from the moment that I actually declared victory for Trump ahead of time. Because of the way the numbers were looking in Florida, the way all the numbers were looking, I actually called the election. I go, Trump took the election. Then I wake up the next morning, and suddenly Biden is leading. In all these states that he visited once in a while for 5 minutes, went back to the bunker, that had lines of people waiting for days to see Donald Trump, and Joe Biden took those states? Nah, no, he didn't. Why are they suppressing? Why aren't they letting poll watchers watch? Why would they try to appeal a court decision to allow poll watchers to watch them? Why would they do that? If you got nothing to hide, you shouldn't care about having poll watchers. It's actually legal. By law, you're allowed to be there. A poll watcher's allowed to be there by law. But no, that doesn't matter. Not in Philadelphia, it doesn't. And then you got the mayor saying his little stupid comments and trying to attack Donald Trump, saying don't attack the integrity of democracy. You got that fake Mitt Romney that I regret voting for him. You've got all these fake Republicans like Susan Collins, because she's lucky for her, she was able to save her seat, so she doesn't care anymore. She won. She doesn't care. She's got her seat secured for 6 years, so she doesn't care. Of course she doesn't care, because these people don't care about us. Donald Trump does. Donald Trump does care about us. I'm going to tell you, we cannot let this happen. We cannot let them steal this from us. We cannot, as Americans. If this was a rigged election, this would have been the most treacherous and treason to the American people. This is something that cannot be accepted. This is enough. And I hate to say it, this is enough to cause something much worse than what we've been seeing in the streets of Portland. And no, I'm not inciting violence. The last thing I want is violence anywhere. I want transparency. All I want is transparency. I want all these votes to be counted, double-checked, and made sure of, since we've been doing something that we've never done in this country, which is mail out a bunch of ballots to people in addresses that we can't even confirm whether they still even live there. That's what I want. I want transparency. I want to see, and I want to have Republican representatives looking at them as they count the votes. People that represent me, my vote. That's what I want. And that's what we'll get with a president like Donald Trump. Because he's going to fight this. He's not going to let this go. He's going to fight this. And as Americans, yes, you should be pissed off. You should absolutely 100% be pissed off, because they are rigging this. There's no doubt in my body, in my mind, anywhere in my heart that they're rigging this election. It's impossible that this man is losing. Impossible. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media. The Middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
I feel like I've ranted enough. Whew. I'm sorry, guys. I just, this has been eating me up inside. I'm watching all these people on Facebook posting stuff on my page, gloating, happy. I get on Twitch and I do my daily stream. I see all these liberals bombarding my channel, laughing, saying jokes, criticizing, laughing at everything, saying that ha ha ha, you see, your candidate lost. We took that motherfucker out of office. And they're saying all these things. And it bothers me. It really does, because I know Donald Trump already surpassed Obama's popular vote. He is the second highest voted president. Now subtract probably about 6 million votes that are fake for Joe Biden, and there you have it. I mean, guys, they rigged this. They set this up from the beginning. They knew this madness was going to happen. They knew it. That's why they used COVID-19. The mail-in ballots was their only strategy to the White House. Their only way into the White House. They had no other way of getting into the White House. They knew Trump's support. They knew that Trump's policies have been working. They knew the economy was coming back. And they knew Trump cared about the American people, and the American people cared about him. People chanted, "I love you," to Donald Trump, because people knew that he was fighting for them. I knew he was fighting for me. And I'm sorry if I sound upset, and I'm sorry if I sound like an insane individual, but I'm mad. I'm upset. I've been holding this in, and I've been stressed out. I'm looking at these numbers, and it just doesn't feel right. They mailed out a bunch of unsolicited ballots. They didn't verify anything. No signatures. Doesn't matter. You think that they're really checking the dates on it? No. If it says Biden on it, they're passing it through. If it says Trump, they're probably making it look like it's Biden's. I mean, we saw that right now in Michigan. I mean, I'm disappointed in Fox News. I might not even watch Fox News anymore, except maybe for Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham. Aside from that, I probably won't watch them anymore. I'm done with their shenanigans. I was so upset that they would call all these states. They would call a state like Arizona for Joe Biden, but they won't call Alaska, and they still haven't called Alaska for Donald Trump. Odd, right? A state that we know is bright red. Without a doubt, it's going to vote red. But they don't call it for Donald Trump. They still haven't called it. Till this moment, they still haven't called it. So I'm mad. I'm mad because they designed a system for them to be able to make it crooked. And when we do the recount, we are going to find out the true numbers. We are going to see the real numbers. That's why Donald Trump wants to, thank God the margin is so small that we're going to be able to do a recount. Because then the fraud will be exposed for what it is. Then Trump will have another accomplishment under his belt, aside from all the other accomplishments that he already has. He's going to have the accomplishment of exposing these corrupt politicians, legislators that have literally tried to steal an election from the American people. Our voice needs to be heard. We stood in line. We waited. We voted. We didn't cheat. We went to the polls. We believed in our president. We went there and we voted. And we voted in large numbers. Larger numbers than we did in 2016. Through COVID-19, through everything, we went out there and we voted. They mail out ballots when we voted through the Spanish flu, we voted through wars, and they go and they send out this BS. They send out a bunch of unsolicited ballots, and let's get something straight. It's not the same as an absentee ballot. An absentee ballot, you request it, and then they send it back to you. Once they verify who you are, they send it back to you. I've done that before. I'm in the state of Florida, so I know exactly how that works. For those of you who want to think it's the same thing, it's not. They just mailed out ballots to basically every single person that was a registered voter without verifying whether they still live there, without verifying anything. And we all know a bunch of people moved out of these states that were tough on the quarantines. Nevada being one of them. People were losing their jobs in the casinos. I leave you with this thought, people. How much are you willing? How far are you willing to go, and how much are you willing to let these people take from us? Because I'm going to tell you something. They're trying to steal America from us. They're trying to tell us that our vote doesn't count. That is what they're trying to tell us. And I am not telling you to go out there into the streets and cause violence. We're not like them. We're not like them. We're different. But we show our presence. We show them by protest, by legal protest. We show them in large numbers, not BLM numbers, larger than that, in numbers beyond anything they can imagine. And we show them, and we stand by our president, and we tell them, no, you're not stealing this election from us. We stand in front of the White House, and we don't let anybody in until those votes are counted. Joe Biden won the election. That'd be the day. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to try everything possible to steal it. They're going to continue to pursue it, and they're going to continue to claim that he won the election. And if he does end up in the White House, he's always going to know that he rigged that damn election and that election was rigged. But I'm hoping and I'm praying that our government will finally step up, and that Donald Trump will have his people looking into this, and that all these people that committed these heinous and disgusting cheats against the American people get caught and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Because what they've done to us is not right. We've been ridiculed. We've been attacked. We've been called names for wearing a hat that says "Make America Great Again." We've been called a racist. We've been called a deplorable. We've been called everything in the book. We've been called dumb. We've been called a cult. We've been called everything and anything because we support a president that supports Americans. And we went out there in large numbers. We voted for him. And they're going to try to take that away from us. Guys, stay positive. We have a tough president in the office. He will fight back. And he will continue.
We will make America great again.
Don't lose the faith. God bless you. God bless your families. And God bless this beautiful country we call America. And let's not stop fighting for it. Because she sure hasn't given us up on us.
We will make America great again.